Hello everyone. In this lecture we are going to learn about the layers of the cornea. The cornea is made up of the total 6 layers. The outermost layer is known as a epithelial layer. From the outer to inner, the first layer is epithelial layer, second layer is Bowman's layer, third layer is known as stroma, fourth layer is Duas layer, and fifth is Desmond membrane, and the last innermost layer is known as a posterior layer. Now, the first layer of the cornea. It is a epithelium. It is a non-keratized stratified epithelium. Non-keratized means it is a not present the keratin cells, and stratified means it has a multiple layer which has a different type of the cell. In the basal part it is a columnar cell, and in the superior it is a squamous type of the cell. So it is also known as non-keratinized stratified squamous cell. Now the second layer is known as a Bowman's layer. It is a not true basement membrane. Those membrane which stained by paraffin acid strip is known as a true basement membrane, but the Bowman's layer is not stained by this periodic acid strip, so it is a not true basement membrane. It cannot be regenerate. It healed by scar formation. Type of the corneal opacity. There are the three types of the corneal opacity. First is nebular. In the nebular type of the corneal opacity, the papillary margin can be visible, iris structure also visible. But in the macular, papillary margin only visible, but iris structure is not visible. In the leukomatous, the papillary and the iris both are not visible. The third layer is known as a stroma. Stroma is the thickest layer of the corneal layer. It is made up of the type 1 type of the collagen. It contains a glycosaminoglycan like keratin sulfate. Fourth layer is Duas layer. It is the strongest layer of the cornea and the thickness of the 7 to 14 microns. The fifth layer is the Desmond membrane. It is secreted continuously by the underlying epithelial cell. It can regenerate and its thickness increase throughout the life. The posterior termination of the Desmond membrane is also known as Schwarz line. Last layer, innermost or posterior layer of the cornea. It is a single cell layer. It is a metabolic layer of the cornea. It's helped to maintain the corneal transparency by the active sodium and potassium ATPase pump to maintain the hydration of the cornea. It contains a tight junction which consists of adjacent endothelial cell. The normal endothelial cell count in this layer is 2400 to 3000 cells per mm square. But if the cell count is between the 500 to 2400 mm square, the cornea adapts to the polymegathism and the polymorphism. If the cell count is less than 500, it's known as a corneal decomposition and cornea become a hazy and edematous. The investigation for the endothelial cell count is this method is known as specular microscope. It's an instrument for measure the endothelial cell count.